going to sit back and watch. Here's the thing, you can't listen to that anymore. They're going to say whatever they want to say, but that shouldn't stop you from speaking out about what you believe in. It's time to do the right thing and to speak boldly and not compromise about what you believe in. They're going to continue silencing you until you're backed into a corner and you won't say.
It comes this almost like an eclipse where the truth is hidden behind it. And
it was something so instant that even if Charlie had been shot in the operating room itself, nothing can feel guilty for being away too long or too much or getting home too late. I always told him home is here.
When you take that stand, it will encourage and inspire someone else to do the same. Whether that is someone in your circle, whether that's a family member, whether that's someone you've never even met before because they saw you posting similarities of my husband and Judy and Vice President Judy. Yes, I do.
Erica Kirk, widow of slain conservative leader Charlie Kirk, embracing US Vice President J.D. Vance at a public event. Well, this image has ignited widespread speculation.
If you thought the internet had shown you every flavor of chaos, brace yourself. Tonight's blast doesn't just shake the room, it ruptures it. Welcome to Vault Line, the place where buried truths don't leak, they detonate. And this detonation? It didn't come from anonymous trolls or secret sources. It erupted straight from Mickey's wife, the woman who spent months swallowing her hurt, praying the cracks in her world would seal themselves. But betrayal has a cruel way of greeting you at your own front door. Smiling politely, clutching a phone filled with harmless late-night exchanges. That's when silence stops being noble and starts being surrender. And she's done surrendering. Because in her eyes, Erica Kirk didn't tiptoe across boundaries. She marched over them. Not by slip-up. Not once. But boldly, repeatedly, with receipts she never imagined would ever see open air. But here's where the plot turns. Mickey's wife didn't simply break her silence. She retaliated, and she brought forward the one artifact, the single, unavoidable, unspinnable piece of alleged proof that Erica can't easily dance around in this digital firestorm. Now pause for a second. If this happened to you, same betrayal, same pressure, same threat clawing at the life you built, what would you do? Swallow it? Walk away? Or would you do exactly what she just unleashed? Because the internet froze when it dropped, and you're about to understand why. Buckle up. The mess only gets darker. Someone said too much, and someone else made sure they'd pay for it. But the truth doesn't begin with the screenshots. It started months earlier, long before the timeline exploded. From a distance, everything looked normal. Mickey McCoy, rising conservative voice bouncing between events, podcasts, airport terminals, looking like the picture of a man on the move. A guy who shakes hands, spars over policy on camera, then drags himself home at night, exhausted, scrolling through talking points while his wife holds the ground steady. Publicly, he was the one with the microphone. Privately, she was the anchor, soft-spoken, steady, prayerful. The kind of woman who didn't chase influencers or attention or applause. She chased quiet. She chased normal. She chased peace. But peace can only hold so long when someone keeps pressing against the cracks. From her telling, the warning signs didn't roar in like thunder. They whispered. A message that buzzed a little too late. A joke that cut a little too close. A comment dipped just deep enough in flirtation to make her chest tighten. And the name glowing on those notifications again and again, Erica Kirk. By then, Erica was already a polished figure. Turning Point USA regular. All stage lights and perfectly curated smiles. A rising face. A recognizable brand. But in this dramatized commentary narrative, the version of her behind the curtain didn't always match the spotlight polish. Still, Mickey's wife tried to be fair. Maybe it was work. Maybe she misread the tone. Maybe texts are easy to misunderstand. But maybe starts to die a slow, painful death when the clock keeps pushing past midnight and the phone still flickers awake. 1:14 a.m., 2:07 a.m., 2:37 a.m. Not about contracts. Not about event schedules. Not about strategy. Messages that felt far too familiar, too relaxed, too emotionally intimate for a married man and a colleague. Pet name energy, even when the words weren't literal. A softness that didn't belong. That slow, sinking familiarity that makes any spouse freeze and think, wait, something is off. According to her, it didn't feel like colleague to colleague. It felt like, I'm way too comfortable here. And she felt that shift like a punch to the ribs. Still, she didn't run to the internet. She didn't throw a public fit. She didn't blast the first hint of evidence. She sat with the discomfort. She did what reasonable adults try to do. She pulled the situation aside. She handled it quietly. She reached out woman to woman, steady voice, steady heart. Hey, these messages cross a line for me. My marriage matters. Boundaries matter. Please understand where I'm coming from. That should have been the moment everything cooled. That should have been where someone replies, "You're right, my bad. I'll step back." But according to her version of events, that's not what unfolded. Instead, Erica allegedly smirked, brushed it away, waved it off as nothing. Suddenly, the worried wife wasn't validated. She was dismissed, made to feel dramatic, irrational, like the issue wasn't the inappropriate closeness. The issue was that she dared interpret it correctly. And then the next act began, because instead of easing up or respecting the warning, Erica allegedly did something far bolder. She went above her, directly to the Turning Point USA Chief of Staff. From that moment on, nothing felt like miscommunication anymore, it felt coordinated. According to the wife, when she tried to go through the right avenues, when she tried to alert the appropriate people, when she attempted to handle the matter respectfully, she expected decency. She expected someone objective. She expected at the very least to be acknowledged. Instead, she was told she was imagining things, exaggerating, being emotional, being insecure. The classic institutional reflex. Protect the face of the brand, not the person raising the alarm. The well-worn PR formula. Calm down. You're making it bigger than it is. The more she tried to articulate the concern, the more she was framed as the disruption, the nuisance, the inconvenient wife who refused to smile politely while the situation was quietly managed. And all the while, the behavior she flagged, according to her, didn't fade, it intensified. More late pings, more unannounced drop-ins at events, more moments of familiarity that had nothing to do with any job role. Eventually, something inside her snapped in a different way. She stopped believing the system would ever repair this. She stopped holding out for integrity. She stopped imagining the people at the top had any interest in truth when image was on the line. So she did the one thing powerful people never expect the quiet ones to do. She documented everything. Every text, every email, every voicemail, every screenshot. Not because she wanted to destroy anyone, but because she knew exactly how fast her character could be rewritten. All it would take was one convenient storyline. She's jealous. She's unstable. She's obsessed. She's sabotaging the movement. And she refused to let them script her into that role. So when the day finally came, when it was obvious no one behind closed doors was going to correct what was happening, she stopped whispering through back channels. She walked straight into the open digital square. And the second she did, the narrative spun out of anyone's grip. The first wave? Shock. Nobody could picture someone so connected, so polished, so institutionally insulated being tied to a pattern like this. The second wave? Recognition, because suddenly other people started nodding. Comments, threads, anonymous DMs, former staff, old colleagues, people saying, "We've seen this before." People claiming these blurred lines weren't new. People suggesting the chief of staff had a long-standing habit of shielding certain high-value players from accountability. And after that point, everything unraveled fast. A supposed voice memo started circulating. A short audio clip, nothing verified, but chilling in its timing. A voice that sounded like Erica's whispering. I didn't mean for it to go that far. It wasn't supposed to explode like this. Edited? Manufactured? AI? No one knew. But the timing? Just a little too precise. Dropping right as Mickey's wife hinted she was ready to reveal everything. Then came the alleged private messages. Screenshots supposedly from someone high up, and they didn't read like conflict mediation. They read like narrative engineering. She's spiraling again. Can you handle her? I don't have the patience today. Jealous wives always imagine something is happening. Just calm her down. And then the line that detonated across every social feed. If she keeps pushing, we'll have to flip the story. She can't take down the movement. Flip the story. 3 words that changed the tone of the entire saga. Suddenly this wasn't sounding like messy workplace boundaries, this sounded like strategy. Not how do we solve this, but how do we turn her into the villain? From that moment, the online investigation went feral. An anonymous account calling itself The Archivist dropped a sprawling threat claiming internal warnings had existed for months, that emails flagged inappropriate closeness, that complaints were quietly buried, that the mission had always been the same: protect the image, not the individuals hurt along the way. One sentence from that threat echoed everywhere. She wasn't shielded because she was innocent. She was shielded because someone powerful needed her untouchable. Suddenly, people began digging up old footage, conference clips, backstage moments, podcast green room shots, freeze-framing anything that looked too warm, too familiar, too bold around married men in the movement. Was every clip actual evidence? Of course not. But the pattern people believed they saw aligned almost perfectly with what Mickey's wife described. And in the court of public perception, patterns often roar louder than official statements. Meanwhile, Mickey stayed mostly silent, watching the wildfire grow, calculating the cost of stepping in. Then he finally posted a single sentence. No drama, no monologue, just "my wife told the truth." Period. That was enough to tilt the entire narrative again. Because suddenly this wasn't a jealous wife going up against a polished organization. This was a husband with his own platform, his own reputation at risk, publicly choosing her side. And people noticed. Because when someone who actually stands to lose something picks a side anyway, the crowd pays attention. During all of this, Erica said nothing. No denial. No explanation. No screenshots to counter the screenshots. Not even a generic "this has gone too far." Fusa stayed silent too. No press release, no internal investigation. Not even the usual corporate cliche of "we take these matters seriously." And in 2024 internet culture, silence screams. Because if you were truly innocent, people started asking, would you really stay quiet? While those questions simmered, more alleged screenshots dropped. One in particular froze the entire timeline. A late-night message supposedly from Erica to Mickey. "You're still up? I can't sleep. Want to talk?" At 2:37 a.m. sent to a married man whose wife had already said, out loud, that this was crossing a line. Try spinning that as workplace professionalism. With every new leak, the internet split even harder. Some asked why any of this had to be aired publicly. Why not keep it inside? Why not protect reputations? Supporters of Mickey's wife answered with one brutal truth. She tried. She went private first. They ignored her. And that was the emotional gut punch. Because when every quiet door slams shut, sometimes the only door left to knock on is the one the whole world hears. Then came the alleged draft apology. Not posted by Erica, not confirmed, but leaked by someone claiming access to crisis management prep. It read, "I deeply regret the misunderstandings and emotional discomfort caused." Misunderstandings. Emotional discomfort. Regret. Not "this never happened." Not "these allegations are false." It felt less like a defense of innocence and more like a parachute repacked by a PR team trying to soften impact. The internet reacted instantly. Screenshot, repost, dissect. Was it genuine? Early draft? Manufactured? No one knew. But the timing once again was too cinematic to ignore. Was the leak completely fabricated? No one could say. But the possibility that a pre-written mea culpa might already exist sent the entire discourse spinning into another atmosphere. And then came the next shock. According to Mickey's wife, she wasn't alone. Other women began messaging her quietly. They had their own encounters, their own uneasy moments, their own late-night "don't overthink it" interactions dismissed as jokes. One of them even hinted publicly that she'd go on record if things didn't change. If that happens, if several women step forward with proof, this stops being a scandal. It becomes an exposé. Through all of this, the emotional wreckage Mickey's wife endured barely made headlines. But that's the core of the whole saga. She wasn't battling flirtatious texts. She was battling dismissal, condescension, being told her instincts, boundaries, and warnings were nothing more than hysteria. She carried the entire weight alone until she couldn't anymore. The breaking point wasn't the messages. It wasn't the audio leak. It wasn't the anonymous threads. It was the moment she realized the people sworn to defend integrity were more committed to defending a polished image. So she made a decision. If they were going to guard an illusion, she was going to guard her truth. And she did it with 3 simple words posted online. "I'm done hiding. No screaming. No meltdown. Just a line that sounded less like fury and more like final clarity. From that moment on, she didn't need to keep talking. The internet did it for her. Comment sections detonated. Some called her courageous. Some called her reckless. Some accused her of torching a movement. Others insisted she was the only one finally daring to say what everyone whispered. Conservative media tiptoed in cautiously, testing the temperature. A few outlets ignored it entirely, afraid of the backlash. Others mentioned it with vague phrasing, claims, allegations, reported behavior, never committing to a stance. But social media doesn't do caution. It erupted. People posted clips, breakdowns, diagrams, conspiracy webs. And one piece of commentary cut through every other noise. This is exactly why women don't speak up. She went private, they shut her down. She went public, they blamed her. Others fixated on the chief of staff. If this is real, then the person tasked with enforcing professionalism helped bury it. That's not leadership. That's protection of preferred insiders. And somewhere between the outrage and the armchair investigations, a darker question began taking shape. How many times has this played out without a single person coming forward? Because if this situation, with all its alleged messages, leaked threads, and documented patterns, got this far before anyone took it seriously, how many stories never made it to a screenshot at all? As the noise built, something unexpected happened. Mickey's wife stepped back. Not offline, not vanished, just out of the direct line of fire. No endless rebuttals. No new daily claims. No scramble to stay at the center. Just a calm, steady retreat. Meanwhile, the screenshots remained. The threads stayed live. The discourse didn't fade. She slipped out of the spotlight, but the evidence stayed glued to the stage. And that brings us to right now, standing in the wreckage, staring at a story that has no clean ending, no clear verdict, and no intention of disappearing just because powerful people avoid addressing it. This whole saga exposed far more than 3 names. It spotlighted the chasm between image and truth, the way institutions become armor, the way protecting the movement often translates to silencing the very people bruised inside it. It forces ugly questions. Who else knew? Who stayed silent? Who helped spin jealous wife, instead of listening to a concerned human being? And if this is what surfaced only because one woman refused to stay quiet, how much more is still sitting in drafts, in group chats, in unsent posts? So now it's your turn. Was Mickey's wife justified in going public after exhausting every private route first? Was this necessary transparency, or a dangerous escalation? Is Erica simply the face in the middle of the storm? Or does this point to a much deeper cultural flaw inside influential organizations? Should Fusa and every name tied to this online firestorm finally respond, investigate, and confront what's being alleged? Or will they try to wait out the chaos and pray people get distracted by the next big blow-up? Drop your take in the comments, because this isn't just a story people are observing. It's a story people are fighting over, choosing sides on, dissecting moment by moment. If this deep dive rattled you, if it made you question how much protection public figures truly have, hit that like button. Share this with someone who still believes polished branding equals innocence. And if you want more breakdowns of scandals, buried stories, whispered cover-ups, and online implosions that everyone else tiptoes around, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay locked in. This is Vault Line, where hidden truths don't leak, they erupt. And this story, it's far from finished.